Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on this video and showing this channel, Broke Budget Some Interest. My name's Christine and I'll be tracking my family's financial savings journey here. In today's video, I'm going to go over my current binder setup. It's been about 2 weeks since I've started the cash budget system and things have definitely changed. So today we're going to look at how my binders have evolved, as well as taking a look at the worksheets that I've created for myself to stay on track and to budget and save as best as I can. So before I begin, I do want to give a huge thank you to Beauty Budgets as well as Mum Life on a Budget. Both of them, they commented and left really sweet messages on my first video welcoming me into the budget community, and I truly appreciate that. So I will try to link their videos. I'll try to link their channels down below, and you guys can show them some love and go ahead and watch their videos as well. I've been binge watching budgeting and cash stuffing videos. So if you're into that kind of content, which you must be because you're here, I've been watching a lot of Taylor Budgets, Pink Budgets, Carla May, All Things Planned, and Stephanie Garcia. So All Things Planned is actually a special ed teacher in Texas, so I really love watching her videos. I'm a general ed teacher here in Pennsylvania, so it's so interesting to see like what it's like, the pay. Let me be real, it's interesting to see what the pay is like down south. But I've been watching them, and yeah, so I'll link everybody down below and you guys can all check them out if you haven't already, though I'm sure you've probably seen them around. So okay, now that I've mentioned who I've been binging, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first video that I made, I had 2 binders. I had my purple binder and I had my green binder. These two, they came in a set for $8, I want to say. These are my original binders. This purple binder is still my budgeting binder. That means that it is for my variable expenses, my daily expenses, and this is still my main sinking funds binder. I've kind of changed the title up a little bit. This is now my priority sinking funds. So these are the really important things: my emergency fund, the house fund, the car maintenance fund. These are important things. So these 2 are still the main binders that I'm going to be working with on a regular and weekly basis. But I ordered some more of these envelopes, like these pouches, and when I got them all in, I started creating more and more sinking funds, and my green binder got stuffed very quickly, so I ended up needing more binder space. So I went ahead and purchased the blue and the yellow binders. These were $9 and they came in a set as well. So altogether it was like $17 roughly, $17-18 for the 4 of them. They are slightly different, like the stitching is a little bit different. I don't know if you can see, but they're essentially the same binder, same magnetic closure, same pockets on the inside, 2 pen holders, all of that. So they're pretty much the same. All of these binders are A6, size A6, same for the pouches on the inside. So these binders are also sinking funds. These are my additional sinking funds. So the blue binder is what I like to call like pleasure expenses. These are things I would like to have money for. All of the binders have blank pouches. This is for just like spare money I want to put in here. But like vacation, gifts, birthdays, nails, social things, personal clothing, these are things that I would like to have money for. I would like to put money towards, but it's not really important. I mean, birthdays and gifts, those are important, but they're not priorities the same way that the house fund is, at least not for us. So that's the blue binder. The yellow binder, these are also sinking funds, but these are for the kids. So these are our family members' pockets. And unfortunately, right now, my partner and I are not at a comfortable position where we can put money into this on a weekly basis. I'm hoping that changes in the next month or two so that we are able to set aside, you know, $10, $20 for each kid on a weekly basis. I'm hoping we get to that point, but like I said, having a house, taking care of the car, like these are things that we have to get done, and we don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. So I'll tell you what I did to try to kill two birds with one stone, because I did still want to give the kids money regularly, but we can't really afford to have that be a separate expense. So I'll show you what I did. Let's go into the worksheets. So the purple binder is my budgeting binder. These are for variable expenses. I went through a number of different types of budgeting pages. I did not create this calendar. This was like a freebie that I found online. I did create this page. This is a monthly budgeting page, but I quickly realized it wasn't going to work. I get paid on a bi-weekly basis. My partner, he gets paid on a weekly basis, but he does not have a set income. However, we can gauge an amount, and we can, like, we know what to expect the week prior. So it's easier to budget on a week-to-week basis. Also, our first 6 bills listed, the debt payments, the rent payments, the PSCA, the Amazon, the Chase, those payments, those days, first of all, vary. And all of those, yes, all of those have multiple pay dates. So, and they're flexible through the month. Like, it's not the same, like it's not every month it's the 5th. All of those have different pay dates, and the amounts fluctuate except for T-Mobile, but the amounts, T-Mobile and PSCA are set but are multiple times throughout the month. The other ones, they fluctuate and are throughout the month. So it's hard to kind of plan when we're paying and the amount we're paying, especially for Amazon, Chase, and the debt payments. This $230 is not, like, that's like the bare minimum that we put down. We make at least 3 payments a month, and they could be anywhere from like $600 to, we usually do at least $300. So that $230 isn't even accurate. But like I said, planning, it was difficult. I tried it. It was difficult to do a monthly budgeting page when you can't really predict the future. Like I said, his income isn't really set, so we kind of have to wait to the week prior to sort of plan and gauge what we will be getting. So I created a page that would work for a bi-weekly or a weekly budgeting system. I did try bi-weekly as well, but again, he gets paid on a weekly basis, so we figured, you know, let's just go ahead and do a weekly budget. And that's what I did for this week. I filmed a video for the budget that I created this week, but I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, so I was testing it this week. I'll definitely film one for next week, the first week of August, but I did use this sheet. So I created this. This goes with my purple budget binder as well as my green one. Let me explain. First off, you have the basic info off to the side. You have the month, week number, how much is rolling over from last week, what do I need to be depositing from the expenses last week, and what does my buffer look like. My goal is that my buffer is always at least $100. If you don't know what a buffer is, that's the money that you have in the bank that you don't touch. It's basically your safety net, your just in case money, just in case a bill is higher, just in case there's an unexpected bill that comes in, just in case you go over budget. Like that's just your safety net. So my goal is to always have that at 100. And then we have the income spot. What I did for this week was I planned the entire week's budget on what we expected to get. However, our actual amount is usually higher. So that extra money gets put into both the buffer and the sinking funds. So yeah. Now below it, I have set expenses. So these are the bills that I expect to pay this week. And then I have a spot to like calculate leftovers. So remember, I'm going off of what I expect to have this week. This is what I expect to have left over. After the bills are sorted out, whatever's left over, that is how I decide what's going into my budget binder, what's going into my variable expenses. So these envelopes are, they won't be getting the same amount each week, especially like for groceries and stuff like that, because we don't grocery shop every week. We do a big grocery trip every other week, and then the in-between weeks I put like $20, $25 just in case we have to pick something extra up. But these are not the same every week, but these are the envelopes that I went ahead and put in the purple binder. So right now we have gas, groceries, shopping, anything that's not food, dining out, and then I put in the people pockets. So the kids, I wanted to budget so that we would be able to grab things for the kids or do something, you know, for the baby, like throughout the week if we wanted to. But this money, if I do $20 a week or whatever does not get spent from that money, instead of going with the rest of the rollover money into next week, this leftover amount for the kids will be taken out and put into their individual pockets in the yellow binder. So that's what I meant by killing two birds with one stone. I'm going to be attempting to budget for them through the weeks, but if we don't, then that money will go to their sinking funds. So that's what we're gonna do until we can put money away specifically for their sinking funds. And then my partner and I have our own envelopes. Now, here's where things get a little bit tricky. Based on the expected budget, after I do my bills, after I figure out what I'm spending on my daily stuff, my expected leftover is going to determine how much goes into my sinking funds. If this number is $50 or more, then I will separate it and I will put money into my sinking funds. If this number is less than $50, then I will not put money into my sinking funds. This will go straight to the buffer. I do want to beef the buffer up. So only if this is $50 or more, after my bills are set up, after my variable expenses are taken care of, my cash envelopes are taken care of, then if I have leftover, I'll put it into the sinking funds. Now, I do have a tracker that goes with the budget binder. So this is also a weekly page. All of my pages are weekly because I'm working off of a weekly budget. My original expense tracker looked like this, and I had planned for this to work for an entire month, but in the span of 6 days, I was already on the second chart, so I knew that it wouldn't. So what I did was, I knew it's not going to work for a month. I went ahead and moved it so that it was a week tracker. a weekly tracker. So this stuff over here is the weekly expense overview. This is where I'm going to keep track of this is where I'm going to keep track of my expenses basically, and this is also how I'm going to track my deposit bag and my leftover amount. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, so 300. So I will be able to say, okay, I only spent 250, so I have 50 left over. Whatever I have left over here, this is my rollover into the next week. Whatever I have spent, this should be the same as my deposit bag. Okay. My deposit bag is at the back of my purple binder. I haven't seen anyone set up their budgeting like John and I did, but basically every expense that we have, every transaction we make, food, gas, clothes, grocery store, whatever we do is on one credit card. And the reason we do that is because we get points back for every purchase. Sometimes we get more points for gas, sometimes we get more points for eating at a certain food spot, but every purchase gives us points back. So it's like using a coupon. So this budget binder, the cash in it, we don't actually ever spend the cash. It's more of like a visual aid. So this is just so we can see our budget in front of us. But if John gets McDonald's or something and spends $20, I will take the $20 out of the dining out envelope and I will put it in the deposit envelope. And then at the end of the week, my deposit bag should have the same amount that I spent that week. And that money will get deposited so that I can I can clear the credit card balance. So we keep the credit card balance at 0. But we are trying to buy a house, so constantly like making those purchases and clearing them. So keeping the balance at 0, it's supposed to help your credit. So that's what we've been doing, but it also works as coupons. So we get anywhere from like $20 to $50 a month from the points back, and we can just put that right onto the balance as well. So we end up saving that money. I don't have to use my cash to pay off $20 to $50 of the credit card a month. So that's nice. So all of our purchases are done on a credit card, and the reason I track the purchases here and with cash is so that I can make sure that what I'm depositing covers what I need to cover on the card. Okay, so that's my budgeting binder expense tracker. Now, my sinking funds. So my priority sinking funds, I did do a sinking fund stuffing video, and I had pretty much the same categories. I added these two, the challenge and the taxes. I said that I wouldn't do a savings challenge because I couldn't afford to. I can't, but I created my own savings challenge. So this $500 savings challenge is not like a 30-day challenge or a 52-week challenge. It's just a get there when you get there challenge. I don't know what I'm going to do with the $500, but I know I want it. So let me know in a comment down below. What do you do with your savings challenge money? Like, do you have a purpose or a goal for it? Do you know what you're going to do when you start the challenge? Or do you just figure it out later? Does it go to a specific fund? I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But these are my priority sinking funds. So the house fund, rent, and debt. The rent and debt are not what we pay per month. These are bonus payments. So hopefully, you know, we add a little bit to rent each week, and then hopefully 1 month, that's something we don't have to worry about and we can have that extra money. Or we can, like, you know, skip that payment. Well, you know what I mean, like use this for the payment. And then the debt, the debt comes out, the payments come out of the checking account, but Again, this is additional cash. The cash envelopes, these are additional payments. At the end of July, it's only been 2 weeks that I've been doing this, so we really don't have a lot. But so we're not going to do it this month, but at the end of August, we will make an additional debt payment with whatever we've accumulated in that envelope. Emergency, Christmas car, and then, like I said, the challenge and taxes. None of these really have caps on them. I mean, the $500 is a cap, but none of these have caps on them. But I do have weekly caps on them, so I don't want to put more than $250 in here in the house fund, and I don't want to put more than $25 in the other funds per week. Okay, so that's 300, 1, 2, 3, 425. So at most, my priority sinking funds would be getting $425 a week. I don't expect that to happen. I don't expect that to happen at all. But if it does happen, that's the capping point. Now, if I put $425 into my priority sinking funds and I still have $50 or more left over, that is when this leftover gets put into the additional sinking funds, starting with my family members. So only if I expect to have over $50 left after my bills, after my daily expenses, after my priority sinkings are all capped out, that's when I will take that $50 and put it through my additional sinking funds. The reason for that is because these are priorities. So if they didn't reach their cap, anything that I have left over, like, I want to put into them. Now, this is not a zero-based budget, which means I don't want this number to be zero. I want to have a couple dollars here, $10, $12, whatever, $7. I want those couple dollars to go to the buffer every week, again, so that I can pack the buffer. But I know a lot of people do the $0 based budget. That's not my goal here. I understand it, but that's not my goal. I just want to have a couple dollars change for the buffer. Now, this week, when I do the budget with me video for the week of August, you'll see what I'm talking about. But for this week, I have budgeted for a certain amount, and we ended up having more, like, for our income. And we had extra money. Instead of taking the extra money from the income, like this difference, and putting it into the additional sinking funds, what I did was I took this extra money that I had, I put some to the buffer, and then I put some more to the sinking funds. The reason for that, again, is because they have caps. These are priorities. If they didn't all hit their cap, then that means I can still put more into it. So any extra money that I have is going to the priority funds before the additional funds. So I'm just gonna put that out there before we do any budget with me videos. And then over here is just what I'm ending the week with, what's in the deposit bag, what's rolling over, what's in the buffer at the end of the week, that kind of stuff. This is my expense tracker. I already showed you this. Here's the savings tracker. I used this sheet in the very first video that I did, but if you missed it, this is how I'm going to be tracking my sinking funds or my savings on a weekly basis. So every week we'll get this page. This is for my priority sinking funds, the house, the rent, emergencies. This tracker to the left is tracking every time I put money into those funds. This tracker to the right on the top, this is my weekly progress. So at the end of the week, house might have gotten $50, $20, $20. I'll be able to see the progress of the week in each fund. And I can also say that the total was $90 saved this week. The bottom one is sort of the bigger picture. So this is going to show me the progress that I've made in each category so far this month. So seeing $50, I saved $50 this week, might not make me feel very, excited or feel like I'm doing much. But if I saved $350 for the house this month, then, seeing that bigger picture obviously is much more encouraging. So this is how much I've saved in all the weeks combined. So from the beginning of the month, I might have started with $500 in here. Now at the end of this week, I have $850. So this tracker starts from the beginning of the month to the end of whatever week this page is for. And this is just from the beginning of the week to the end of the week. I have another savings tracker for the additional sinking funds, but I don't expect to be able to put money into the additional sinking funds on a weekly basis. So this is a weekly sheet, but I focused on the monthly savings review for this. So I can still say, okay, saved $50 this week for the additional savings sinking funds, but this month I only saved $125 for it. And then here's the breakdown for the monthly savings. So those are two different sheets for my sinking funds. The last page that I want to show y'all is my $500 savings challenge. Very, very simple. I won't be putting into this, every single week, but we'll see how long it takes me to get to the 500. And again, not sure what I'm gonna do with it, but this is what I got. So that'll be used on the weekly basis as well. So altogether, I have my weekly budgeting page, I have my expense tracker, my priority savings tracker that shows me my week and my monthly progress, and then my additional sinking funds tracker, and then my $500 savings challenge. So those are my worksheets that are going to help me track everything in my binders. And again, the binders you'll see the most of are my purple and green ones. Okay. So I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, or if you see anything that you feel like, it could be made better, or maybe you saw something that you have once tried and realized doesn't work out, let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate any advice or guidance. I've said this before, I'm probably going to say it in every video, but I'm not an accountant, not a financial advisor. I'm not great with math. I don't work at a bank. This is completely out of my comfort zone. I'm just trying to find a system that works for us. So if you have any advice, tips, tricks, or something is gonna fail, just let me know ahead of time. I'm very flexible. I've changed all my worksheets. I've changed my budget binder, my binder setup. I just want something that's going to work. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking. If you have any questions about anything, of course. And if you enjoyed today's video or content like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I would love to have you join me on this journey as I figure it all out. Maybe we can help each other. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope y'all have an awesome day. Bye.